soon as they come out of that womb. And the other thing is they need to socialize them in our traditions, our rituals, beliefs, customs, morals, norms, and values. Because when they go to external institutions such as schools, they're going to be miseducated or uneducated. And this has been a factor. Most of us who were born in this country, which were the African Caribbeans, because obviously our parents would refer to themselves as West Indians. Many of us ended up in remedial classes, low bands, no educational attainments, etc. So that spirit was literally broken. It is early stages. And many of us during the 1960s and 70s and 80s felt within ourselves we could not make it. We would not be able to make it, even though there was many changes within the political or social system. We know in 1965 there was a Race Relation Act which was passed in order to make sure that our people had more social integration within society. In 1968, there was another Race Relation Act. That was to give us better housing, decent housing, council housing. We were allowed to come over here to build these properties, but not live in them. This was the reality. So even though the classrooms or the schools like to focus on America or North America, the same form of social inequalities that existed was actually here as well. And we also know in 1976 they passed another Race Relation Act, which was basically to do with more integration within the workplace, equal pay. Because a year before that they passed the Equal Pay Act for females, but it was only for white females. It didn't include black and brown women, okay? They had to pass another one specifically in order for that social integration within the workplace to take place. So that's just a little summary of some of the things I want to say. Now here's a picture of me. I think this is the only picture of myself and my father. I was sitting about 8 or 9 at that time. Okay? Come from a strict Jamaican family. My father was illiterate. Now most of you who come from Cardiff or know Cardiff would know who this man is. Big Joe or Joe Madden. Okay? So what I'm trying to show here, that self-determination begins as a youth. My father was a very successful businessman. Very successful. He's a multi-millionaire. Okay, he went into real estate. This is a man who couldn't read or write. Actually, both my parents couldn't read or write. But I actually grew up with my father and my stepmother. It was my stepmother who was the engine behind this person. What they say, that behind every successful man, there's a woman. It was my stepmother. Okay, she was the brains of the outfit. Okay, they had about 17 properties within Cardiff, rented it out. They were into real estate. When we grew up, okay, and we left home, because I'm one of 10, I'm number 4, just like Faith. So what happened later on was that all this, what happened later on was that when we all left home, my stepmother decided to turn a mini mansion, which was in Grangetown, into a nursing home. So what I want to emphasize here, the self-determination for me as an individual, because now I'm an educational consultant, I'm a child psychologist, okay, I'm a psychotherapist, I'm a sociologist, I'm a historian, I'm a multidisciplinary expert in many different fields. But I never started off that way. I was able to read and write before I went to school. Okay, and by the time I was 11 years old, went to secondary school, my reading age as an 11-year-old was equivalent to a 14, 15-year-old. By the time I left, because I was forced to go into remedial classes for 5 years, and they would not take me out of that class, my reading age by the time I was 16 was 8. So I really struggled. But because of the wealth that my parents had, they decided to send me to college. I went to Barry College, a further education, and I went there for 2 years, and I came out with a diploma in French cuisine. I worked for just over 20 years as a professional chef in many of the hotels and restaurants within Wales. And I specialized in Spanish food, Arabian food, obviously Caribbean food, but I specialized in French cuisine. Okay, this is what happened. And one of the things I started noticing was that when I was in the catering industry, even though I had a diploma, many white people were coming into this industry. Many of them I would train, they would become executive head chefs. Many of them would become head chefs to work on the QE2, the geese boats, etc. And I started wondering to myself, how come I can build this within people with no qualifications and no experience, but yet at the same time, they were able to do it. So I decided to rebel in some way. And I wanted to get physical, smash up the place, but this was not the way to do things. So what I decided to do later on was try to educate myself. So one of the things I started doing, by the time I was 21, 22 years old, I decided to start to teach myself how to read properly. I used to read approximately 6 to 8 hours a day, every single day. And I was working approximately 60 hours a week. Okay, this is how hard. I was literally for about 10 years from the time I was 21. I was literally sleeping a day per day, between 2 to 5 hours a day, every single day. I got so engrossed with reading, I wanted to master every single discipline which was out there. And I wanted to work twice as hard as people from the dominant culture. And I wanted to surpass them in every single field. This is what self-determination was about. We have to have libraries in our home. We have to read. Many of us know how to read.